Now this is a certified hood classic. After the success of Mega Man 8, Capcom decided to try and take a crack at a sequel to X3, which is good because if the X series ended with 3, I would be a very sad man. And let me tell you, they tried very hard to get people to play X3. The first of the PS1 trilogy for the X series, X4 is highly regarded as not only one of the best X games, but one of the best games in the Mega Man franchise. And for very good reason. Its fantastically designed levels, excellent bosses, and fun weapons across not one, not two, but 2 characters have kept people coming back to X4 even to this day. It even got the coveted IGN 7 out of 10. But now we have to ask the question, what will it be like to get all of the achievements in X4 on the Legacy Collection? Well, let's dive in and find out, shall we? First thing we get to see in X4 is its opening cutscene. That's right, baby, with the power of the PS1 we can have animated cutscenes. The only other Mega Man game to do this was 8, and that's not the only thing they share, unfortunately. Because once we pick our character, which for our first run is X, we get to experience this game's unique voice acting.
In your best interest to stop them now, before they turn on you. You possess enough power to destroy them! You are dismissed.
Man, you gotta love PS1 era voice acting. So Evil Bad McBad Guy here is trying to convince General, that's both his name and his rank, that he should take the Repliforce he commands and rebel against the Maverick Hunters, because the Hunters are bad, killing any Reploids that don't do as the humans command because they're actually being oppressed. Yeah, that's what's happening. General, despite sounding like he's 5 seconds from passing out, responds with the kind, "Get out of my office."
Remove yourself from my sight.
And Evil Bad Guy laughs as you'd expect him to. Man, I wonder who that is. But we have no time for that. There's Mavericks on the Sky Lagoon, and it has the most advanced weapons available, I think. You better get in there and stop them, X. Now this is an opening stage. What's cool about it is that it has a lot of tutorial stuff like in the previous games. However, if we know what we're doing, we can fly past some of it like it's nothing. That's actually the blueprint for most of the levels going forward. There's obstacles and enemies, but you can go at your own pace for most of them, fast or slow. It feels fantastic, and being able to go fast while dodging enemies and obstacles feels amazing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. How's the Sky Lagoon doing? Magma Dragoon, also known as Reincarnated Akuma, says the reactor for the Sky Lagoon was just destroyed and we'll have to evacuate before it crashes. X obviously doesn't want that because, you know, a lot of people are gonna die, but our blue boy can't do anything except retreat. Well, I guess we're starting this game off with some good old-fashioned genocide, am I right, boys? Am I right? A lot of people are dying right now. Getting back to the Sky Lagoon after a bathroom break, yep, it's all fucked. It's a pretty grim scene, and we have to navigate the ruins of the Sky Lagoon, even avoiding the rubble that's collapsing around us. It's not like it's the apocalypse, but still, good work, X4. But getting to the end and even skipping this trap hole in the floor here, we finally get to beat up the boss that's been following us, Arigian. It's a big dragon. And despite its appearance in the first half where it would attack us relentlessly, here Arigian waits patiently while we blast it with the X-Buster. How nice. There we go. But slaying the dragon, afterwards Colonel shows up. That's also his name and rank. I don't know why Repliforce is like this. X asks if the Repliforce was involved in what happened to the Sky Lagoon, which, fun fact, some of the enemies at the start are Repliforce troops, but Colonel says he was simply looking for his sister Iris. X, having the reasonable request of asking Colonel to disarm and come to Maverick Hunter HQ for questioning, watches as Colonel crashes out and declares war on the spot, and then he leaves. What a Chad move. And just like that, all Repliforce speedruns becoming Mavericks, so, you know, it's fine. Right after this, we see General stating that the Repliforce is declaring war against the humans to create their own nation of Reploids. So now with the Repliforce all considered Mavericks, the Maverick Hunters are sent in to stop them. We even get more laughing from Evil McBad Guy. I won't lie, I feel like I missed half a season, but no, it really goes this fast. You pick a character, blink, and now you're starring in a tragic war against your fellow Reploids. It's not great. Like I said in X3, despite the X series focus on storytelling, it's not doing the best job of it. And part of that is because we're playing as X. That's right, Zero has his own story, and it's a lot more in-depth. But we'll have to wait to talk about Capcom's Special Boy. We got a war to win. X even gets his own navigator, Double. He orders us to scramble, we serve him some eggs, and then we get our first stage. And for once in this series, I'm not going in weakness order. I swear I'm not going in weakness order. The first thing we do in the jungle level is smooth out the pixel art for a second.
You know, I'm just thinking about this now. I know the first game started with the default filter on. It looked like shit. I haven't seen it for this game. What does it look like? Oh! Jesus Christ.
I love this level. Not only is it fun to navigate through, dodging and weaving through these enemies, but we even get our leg parts. Like, it's just right there. We also get to hear the Dr. Light AI lament about the war happening at all, which I very much agree on. But we can't change the past, else we wouldn't exist. I also love when we get the armor parts, you can see the outline of the others around X. It really gets you excited to find the others. As for the leg parts here, they allow us to air dash and hover for a few seconds. You even move while hovering, but the length of the hover is greatly reduced. Lovely leg armors these. Really makes me appreciate how tight the controls feel. Going through the following areas feels great with them, even if the falling logs scare me a little bit. But right after this is the part where we can climb some ladders, though it's a lot faster if you just go around since they put enemies directly on top of the ladders. Just back them up a little bit, come on, you got the room. But after that we get to blow up this door and go to the second half of the level. That's right, with the power of the storage space on a disc, we can have levels be longer and more detailed. We even have more enemies. Come on down to the jungle. We got spiders, we got bees, we got snakes.
You guys heard of the card Snake Rain from Yu-Gi-Oh? There it is.
Honestly, I think the only part of this segment that I dislike is that the spider webs shoot out directly in your path. Though if that's the only thing I dislike about a level, it means it's doing something right. But now it's time to fight spiders, man. We get to see X4's amazing new feature, pre-boss dialogue. Though all Web Spider has to say is that he's mad all Repel Force has been labeled Mavericks. But hey, him talking gives us time to charge a shot. Now Web Spider isn't that hard, though that's also because his attacks don't do a billion damage.
Right, X3?
I still die a few times because my brain sees how his shots still move around and go, yeah, we can match that. Really, I think the worst part about this is the horrible flashing effects the webs have. I believe this was done because it looked better on older TVs since pixels would be more blurred together. Doesn't really work very well anymore though, unfortunately. But regardless of our technology, we're able to squash Web Spider. This gives us the Lightning Web. It's okay as a weapon on its own, with the charged version being much more powerful, but its main purpose is getting us excited for our next armor parts. Time to fly across the skies. Not only do we do that in foot, but we get to use the ride armor. Specifically, this is the Eagle type. It's quick, has a charged homing shot, it's a quality machine right here. It's even fast enough to get the hard tag before it blows up. I just love this area with the ride armor because you can just fly through it if you take care not to get it destroyed too early. Just take a quick blast from this bad boy and say goodbye to annoying cannons. But the second half of this level is where the real special stuff is. We have to use the lightning web to get past these spikes where we can find the arm parts. As before, let us charge our special weapons, but that's not all. We get not 2, not 3, but 2 choices. We can get arm parts that store up to 4 charge shots at a time, or the correct choice, arm parts that leave a ball of plasma where they hit, damaging whatever's in the ball multiple times. So we ballin' today. I only wish they didn't clash with my color scheme. And if you require proof that the plasma does a lot of damage, well, here it is, my little truth seekers.
I love these things. X is fucking balling! But after fighting Wall the boss fight for the 50th time or whatever, I don't know, we get the Storm Owl. He is quite mad we've blown up his ships. Unfortunately, I have a Gundam weapon on my arm. It pays itself off. Now, Storm Owl isn't too bad. My real gripe is that the platform in the middle of the arena just seems a bit too high, so it always felt like I couldn't jump up on it when I absolutely could. Aside from that, Storm Owl can be a challenging boss if you don't figure out how to avoid his attacks, because they do a lot of damage, but not like kill you in 2 hits kind of damage. The one I found the most dangerous is when Storm Owl swoops in to grab you. You'll have to bait that attack or you'll get slammed to the ground. Man, it's crazy fighting bosses normally and not abusing them into next week. Right, Storm Owl? That means yes. For beating Storm Owl, we get the Double Cyclone. It shoots out projectiles on both sides where they quickly rise up. And the charged version is shooting tornadoes instead. Handy, but it's a bit tricky to use.
Ready!
Let's go! There's never been a bad train level in any video game. I sure hope nothing bad happens to the train. Damn it. Running through the train, they got lasers on loan from the Air Force here, and while they might slow me down, they'll have to try harder than that to stop me. Well, unfortunately, I have the power of science and these plasma balls they create. Isn't science wonderful? So wonderful, in fact, it makes the first area really short. It's just a good time on the train level, what can I say? And then in the second area, we get the Ride Armor. This time, it's the Raiden version. Or Raiden, I don't know which pronunciation we're using, there's like 3. This one's extremely powerful at close range. Not even the train cars can stop it. And we'll want to keep the Ride Armor too, since destroying one of the cars later in gives us another heart tank. But while we're here, I want to talk about the art. I have a lot of nostalgia for the art style in these games, but I especially love the pixel art on the characters. It looks great. And let me tell you, it is a lot of work. To put it in perspective, let's look at X's walk cycle. In X 1 through 3, his walk has 11 frames. In X4 through 6, he has 16 frames. And since the X4 through 6 sprites are in 32-bit rather than 16, they require a lot more detail. Hell, even looking closely, you can see that X has 6 levels of shading on him in some sprites. And keeping in mind that X has to have sprites for each combination of his armor and each color scheme, yeah, no, it's a lot of effort. So I'm not surprised a lot of fans prefer to make 16-bit sprites. I mean, even the developers of the Legacy Collection fucked up making their own version of the Ultimate Armor. I just look at this atrocity. It's a fucking blob. But yeah, no, I just really love this art. It looks really good. You did good, Capcom. Alright, let's catch up with X. This train is now cringe, so we're ditching it. And after a nice break from train corridors with some fucked up train tracks, we get on a better train, where we face Slash Beast. And he's a very fast boy. He threatens us and it's time to fight. Alright, let's go, you little... Oh dear. Well, that was bound to happen eventually. So we run the stage back, however, we only have to do the second half, so it's not really that bad. We just have to run down the train corridor marathon again. Alright, round 2, you furry fuck. Slash Beast decided to respec all his points into strength, and by God it shows. But let me tell you, it is exhilarating. Dodging attacks, landing counters, narrowly avoiding damage, it's an amazing boss fight. And what's funny is that all of this just goes away when you use his weakness. Good for the boss rush, not so good for a fun boss fight. But we blast Slash Beast and get the Twin Slasher. It's a spread shot firing in a V pattern, with the charge version firing even more shots. Extremely helpful, and I love to use it. You know, when I remember to use it. Yeah boy, it's Stage Hazard Central. Get your wall jumps ready, kids, cause we're gonna be doing a lot of that. Gotta love fireballs. These ones are a little annoying, but past it are these ones, and being able to successfully pass this section, oh yeah, that's the good shit right there. The main thing I don't like about this level is that these fires from the floor, there's just no warning to where they are until they start going.
So if you're really fast like I am, you'll tend to slam into them. Walking normally though, it's fine. So it looks like I'm just suffering from success.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We blow open the door into the next area, and now the fireballs are slamming into the platform to destroy them. Good thing I'm already adept at being fast as fuck. I seriously love the use of the fireballs in this level. It's extremely fun to navigate the different ways they're used. And right after this part, we use Lightning Web to get this heart tank. And just a little farther, we can even get the armor parts by using the charged version of Twin Slasher. These armor parts reduce the damage we take by around 33%. It apparently depends on the attack, but whatever, it's fine. It also reduces the knockback X takes, and it lets us use this game's Giga attack, the Nova Strike. It's a quick dash forward dealing big damage while making X invincible. And unlike the Giga Crush from X2, we don't have to equip the damn thing to use it. Just hit R2 and boom. Also, unlike the Giga Crush, we also gain energy over time, not just from taking damage. So basically, it's better in every way than the Giga Crush. Going forward, we hop into the Raiden, which is invincible to lava by the way, and getting through this little platforming part, we can even take it into the boss fight. I think the only other time you can do something like this is X8, but the future comes later. The present has Magma Dragoon, and guess what? It was him that destroyed the Sky Lagoon and betrayed the Maverick Hunters. Except it says the regular Hunters on his intro card, which is the exact Japanese translation of the Maverick Hunters, but yeah, translations in this era were something. Anyways, time to fight Magma Dragoon by getting out of the Raiden because we gotta kill him with it and I don't want it destroyed. Dragoon is absolutely terrifying because just like Slash Beast, he's fast and does big damage. Though the difference is that most of Dragoon's moves are Street Fighter references. So if you're skilled at fighting Akuma, or any of the other Shotos really, you should be fine. Oh, and the Raiden helps a lot as well, just don't jump into it by accident. Oh shit. I'm gonna kick your ass. Beating Dragoon with the rod and we get our first achievement. He brought this to a mech fight. Dragoon, now half the Reploid he used to be, says he destroyed the Sky Lagoon because a mysterious figure said doing so would let him finally fight X to the death. That is one of the worst reasons to destroy a city I've ever heard. You can explode now, Dragoon. Thank you. This gives us Rising Fire, a fire pillar that goes straight above X but locks him in place for a brief second, with the charged version having X do a Shoryuken instead. Helpful weapon, though it's a bit limited in its use. But look out, before the next stage starts, Colonel challenges X to a duel. We head over there and X, the good boy he is, tries to talk Colonel down again. Sadly, democracy fails yet again, so it's time to fight. Colonel can be tricky as he'll either send out waves or disappear before appearing next to you to attack, but we can outsmart these moves. I have failed to spell outsmart correctly in my script. Now I'm gonna go home and cry. We're able to slide under some of the waves, and if we time our jump correctly, we can get a hit in after Colonel swings at us before he retreats. And while this is a simple fight, again, I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. My only real gripe is that Colonel has a lot of health and is immune to every special weapon except his weakness, which we don't have right now, so, you know. But hey, it's still fun. After the fight, Colonel compliments X before running off again. X is trying real hard to help, but no one wants to listen to my blue son. Hey, you like this background? Watch this. I can tell this is gonna make some people really sick.
Don't worry, the whole stage isn't like this. After the Vomit Comet, we have a short corridor followed by a vertical section. It starts out simple, but as we ascend, it slowly gets smaller and smaller, forcing us to get around more creatively. There's even spikes. It's a simple section, but quite well done. They could have fucked it up by making it so you die after going high enough and falling back down, but they didn't, which that would be really stupid. Right after this, it's time for a mini-boss, which can be challenging if you don't have the plasma shot. God, I love these on parts. Imagine if the ones in X2 also did this.
Man, that boss goes down super easy when you just do that to it. God damn.
Going to the next area.
Alright, it's back again, but now it's purple. Waiki Urple.
So getting through Vomit Comet 2, the Revenge of the Vomit, we get another corridor and use the Lightning Web to get the heart tank. though if you're quick enough you can actually get this one without it. It's pretty difficult though. We then run through the average corridor in an action movie before getting on an auto-scroller in an elevator, and it's not stressful at all. Let me out! Let me out of the auto-scroller! But after all that, we finally get to Split Mushroom, and I choose not to use his weakness because it turned him into Spark Mandrill, which that happens for most of the bosses, honestly. So instead, we get to fight the X-Series version of Gemini Man. And, good God. Oh no. Yeah, he's a little hard. He might sound like a goof, but he is a bit of a bastard. See, the first time he summons a bunch of copies of himself that throw themselves at you. Simple. But then, oh man, he does what he was born to do, and he splits. So now you have to worry about two guys moving around at once who are both trying to slam into you. And well, it starts simple. If these two decide they want to stop being synchronized, oh my god. So yeah, he's a bastard, but it's a good fight. And unlike Gemini Man, I feel like I have a chance when I'm only using the X-Buster. This gives us the Soul Body. It shoots out a projection of X forward, which deals damage to whatever it touches, while the charged version makes X invincible and sends out an unarmored copy of him to shoot at his enemies. I feel like this weapon could be busted, but I couldn't find a way to go sicko mode with it. But hey, maybe someone else can. But we will need this for the sickos on the next level. So remember at the start how I said a lot of these stages were designed to let you go fast? Well, Cyber Peacock stage embraces this the most, as going fast here is how we get the items here. And the reason I waited to play this stage after Split Mushroom is because Soul Body can destroy these yellow orbs, which lets us go even faster. Just keep in mind the Soul Body has very limited ammo, so be careful with it. The first section is pretty easy, giving us the heart tank for the S rank. The second section can be tricky to get through if you don't have the Soul Body. Getting through this fast enough gives us the sub-tank. The third section is where it can get difficult, as it has a vertical part, and you can't use a ladder to go up, or you could hop up the walls instead like a true Chad. Oh! But after that, we get to the top, run through here, which I'm almost positive you need the Soul Body to get through fast. But doing that, we get one of the best upgrades in the series. The head parts. All of them so far have either been okay or just generally useless, but this one, well, they just said fuck it and let this one give you unlimited ammo for uncharged sub-weapons.
So, look, if I switch over to this... Why? Why? Fuck it, just whatever.
11 out of 10, no notes. And for finally completing the 4th armor, we get the achievement of the same name. Now on to the next area in cyberspace. Now we have gravity reversing. It happens immediately each time you press one of these buttons, which I find a bit disorienting, but it's not that bad. At least the whole fucking stage isn't rotating at once. I don't really suffer from motion sickness, but... Anyways, what you have to keep in mind for this stage is that when you switch gravity, there are balls around that will move as well. So make sure you don't touch them while they're still moving. Unless, of course, they're constantly moving. Just zip on through them and then boom, yeah, boss fight. Peacock here wonder how the hell X's potential is limitless, with X asking why he's doing this to him, which is just really funny as I read it as X being more annoyed than distressed. Peacock says he's here to test X and the fight begins. Much like Colonel, Peacock likes to teleport next to you before attacking. With X, this isn't too bad since all of the attacks are close range, but a 0. Oh boy. Fuck. The most dangerous attack Peacock has is when he decides to start shooting at you with his feathers. They track you down very well, and when they explode, they leave behind a damaging sphere, which makes the following projectile way more difficult to dodge. Again, a bit tricky with X, but with 0, it's just pain. But after a struggle and the power of plasma, we defeat Peacock. This gives us the aiming laser, which is a little strange to use. You can attack up to 3 enemies with it, but I always found this a little too slow to be practical. The charge version, however, puts out a constant laser, which can be quite helpful, though it's still hard to control while moving and only lasts for like 3 seconds. But hey, big laser go brr.
Yeah, he big. Damn, boy, he's thick, boy. Yeah, thick-ass boy. Can't even read the fucking text behind him because he's so big. Ice stage time. I love that the star of this stage has Blizzard Buffalo frozen in the background, as he deserves. What's also nice is that we can climb up to the side of the stage and find this lovely stash of life and weapons energy. It's extremely helpful for refilling our sub-tanks. But we have to turn around and use the rising fire to break this ice block, which gets us the next heart tank. Almost got them all. Now, the gimmick of this stage is, of course, ice physics, but what's different is that there's also reappearing and disappearing platforms as well. And there's slanted platforms that we slide down as well, though unlike X3, it actually feels natural to move around these platforms as opposed to just getting a rocket shoved up your ass. But after this section, we use the lightning web to get the EX tank. What does it do? It gives us 4 extra lives when we game over instead of 2. That's it. It sure is an item. But hey, we need it for an achievement, so we get it and it's going in the bag. And after some more slipping and sliding, we get to some rising ice platforms we have to descend. Easy enough to get through, but there is a bottomless pit, so, just make sure you're aware of the elevator and you don't fall in it. And now it's time for a mini-boss. There's even Chill Penguin in the back to watch me blast it with plasma. Let's just try dashing under this guy. I keep screwing around and not doing that. Area 2. It's like the first area, but with a 2 after it. Now instead of disappearing platforms, we have destructible blocks. And sometimes inside of those blocks are enemies, or even bombs. But most importantly is the weapon sub-tank. That's right, there's now a sub-tank for your weapon energy. In the game where we have unlimited uncharged special weapon energy on X. It's more useful on Zero and in the other games, I swear. And shortly after this, we get to the last twist of this level, where these enemies can freeze the screen. As long as you blast them before they do that, it's fine. But now it's time to fight Frost Walrus, who instantly thinks X is a child. I mean, X certainly sounds like that in this game.
Time to get serious!
The fight against Frost Walrus is very similar to Blizzard Buffalo, except unlike that fight, Walrus has projectiles. He has 2 types, and both of them create spikes where they impact. These don't instantly kill you, so don't worry about that happening. And again, this is another fight that X is pretty good at dealing with, but Zero has a little more difficulty. It do be that way when you're a close range character in this bitch of a ranged Earth. Just in case, because I don't know how much damage Nova Strike actually does. I missed. I did it at him when he was still invincible, so it didn't count. Alright. We just gotta do it on the next guy then. But we blast Frost Walrus and get the Frost Tower, which is one of the weapons of all time. It places a big ice block around X, dealing damage to whatever it touches. It's only affected by gravity, so yeah, it's not great. The charged version is a little better as it sends out ice projectiles, very slowly. But hey, it's something, right? Ride Chaser time! Boy, oh boy, it's time for me to have a bad time. See, playing this stage normally, it's not that bad. It's an auto-scroller on the Ride Chaser, it's cool, whatever. But getting the items, oh boy! Yep, there it is. Yeah, get ready for me to do that a lot, by the way. I don't like it. I don't like it because you more or less have to memorize exactly where the items are, and even then, sometimes you still get fucked over because when you dash on the Ride Chaser, you're just locked into that horizontal line you've created, and, if you slam into the wall, that's it, it's over. This stage may have made me lose my mind a little bit. Oh. Alright, well, we have to go run it back. Run it back. We'll get to that. Oh, I got stuck. Yeah, sorry boys, I didn't jump in time for the fast auto scroller. Oh man, guys, you know what? The problem is that it's not in widescreen. I better fix that. There we go. Yeah, boy, it's in widescreen now. Now I'm playing with power. Yeah, boy, now I'm playing with power. This stage might be driving me insane. This sucks, by the way. In case you were wondering, this does not help. I think this makes it worse. Get me the fuck out of here. Let me out of this jail. Okay, we did it. Okay, go back. Go back. Go back.
Area 2, same as the first, but now outside, and also with the 2. And also Jet Stingray is here. Why he fly like that? This part is rough because Stingray will shoot at us, and we take damage from touching him. But really, the worst part of this is getting the other sub-tank.
This Stingray, can you go away? Oh, yeah, I missed it. Well, the fucked up part is that that's at the very end of this section. That's the worst part about screwing that up, is that it's at the very fucking end.
I love this stage and totally didn't leave it for last on purpose. And did you know that dashing with the Ride Chaser locks you in place? Remember when I told you that? Fuck. I swear half my footage of this stage isn't me constantly dying in Area 2. No, I swear, it's just, you know, it's just fine. No, it's okay, I didn't lose my mind. No, it's okay, cool stage.
Get the fuck out of here. You'd think Mega Man X on a motorcycle would be cool, but no, every time I play the stage, I just want to not be on this stage anymore. Nope, I thought that was the part I had to jump. Okay. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Nothing in life matters, especially not this stage. Like, I've had a lot of fun on most of the stages in this game. This one's not a winner. This ain't it, Chief. Really wonder if it's possible to no-hit this section, but it doesn't really feel like it. There we go, we got it.
I'm at least grateful that they put a full heal at the end. They knew this would be a pain in the ass. You can't shoot Stingray during this area, but it only makes him go away. It would be kinda cool if it damaged him in the boss fight or something, but oh well. But now it's time to fight him! And he's ready to go too. And we do have his weakness, but it's fucking Frost Tower, and I put it best when fighting him.
So the funny thing is that every time I fight Jet Stingray, it's just like, oh, I could try to use his weakness against him, except his weakness is this. So, you know, it's really not an active way to play this fight, so yeah.
So playing this fight actively instead of, you know, just sitting there like a jackass, Stingray can be a little shit. He's got projectiles that ride across the floor and you'll have to either constantly jump over them or destroy them with your weapons. Twin Slasher would have been a good idea to use here were I not a flawed human being who forgets his options. The other thing Stingray will do is fly towards you, though it has almost no wind-up, so it's pretty hard to predict when he's gonna do it, though it's usually after he shoots his projectiles, or if the entire field is already full of them. He also has an attack where he sucks us towards him. I'm still amazed I didn't take damage from this. But we take out Stingray with the Nova Strike, giving us the achievement, it ain't over till it's Nova. We also get the Ground Hunter. It's a pretty good weapon as you can control where the projectile drops, and the charge version sends out a massive projectile which can be fired up and down. Now it's time to clean up the items and achievements we need. Running back through the jungle, we grab the heart tank we missed, and that would be it, except we have to run back through Storm Owl stage and grab the other arm parts and shoot them. That way, we get the achievement Pew Pew for shooting all the charged version of X's special weapons in a single run. I then instantly went back to the plasma hands. We also quickly run back to Frost Walrus' stage and fill up the sub-tanks and our lives, giving us the achievement fully charged. Now it's time to stop Repliforce. They're assembling at the spaceport. You can't let them go to space, it's expensive up there. On this day, year of our Lord 2025, Bell remembered to use his special weapons for a whole level instead of forgetting they existed. And it was a joyous day. But seriously, Twin Slasher for this level with unlimited ammo? Fantastic. There's a lot of enemies out of reach of your X-Buster, so using something with a diagonal range is extremely helpful. There also totally was not a part in this level that made me panic. Nope, not at all. Nuh-uh, no sir.
Stop this immediately. Too much. Jail. 1,000,000 years dungeon.
The spaceport is pretty short, all things considered, but hey, fun way to show off your special weapons. And at the end of this short road is Colonel. X tries to talk him down again, but sadly it doesn't work. So we'll have to fight once more. Colonel is extremely similar to when we fought him the first time, except now he's got new moves. The first one is when he calls in lightning to rise from the floor, which has a very tight area to dodge, which is not helped by him charging at us right after it's over, and it's also not helped by him constantly spamming this move. I get it, Colonel. You learned a new move and want to show it off. Please do something else.
He's determined to be the most annoying boss in the game, isn't he? Oh, yeah, that time he actually used it. Okay.
He also has the amazingly named Giant Shockwave, which does just that. He used it a single time here, but we beat Colonel the way he deserves to in X's story.
Break this. I just like flicked him on the forehead and he fell over.
But it's too late, X. Repliforce is already in space, and Colonel explodes, dying with his faith in Repliforce's ability to make their own nation unbroken. And that's all we get from Colonel. Bye-bye, Bozo. See you next playthrough. Well, Repliforce in space, we need to head there and stop them from using the final weapon. But what's this?
Oh, not again.
Hey, watch it!
I'm terribly sorry.
It's me. Those hunters must not be allowed in here. Terminate them.
Roger.
Double is actually a double agent. And he just fucks these Maverick Hunters up. Like, it is real bad. It's a good thing this is oil instead of blood, or else this game would be M-rated. The Hunters do try to contact X, but sadly Double gets to him first.
17th unit, Commander X, please respond.
What happened? Report!
Nothing to worry about.
No further transmissions unless necessary to carry out the operation.
Understood.
I'm breaking contact.
Oh, X, there's plenty wrong here. Just like my brain. But can I just say, Double kinda sucks as a villain. Like, we don't see him do anything. He talks to X like 4 times. That's it. I'd care more about him turning traitor if he actually had more of a role in the story outside of being an evil Katamari for 90% of the game. But with that being said, let's go beat his mediocre ass. Oh man, this level's so long, we're never gonna get to the end. But hey, Double's here, and after Double shit talks literally everyone he can, it's time to get his ass.
I'm so anxious to rip you apart.
Okay.
He's very similar to how Slash Beast fights, except, yeah, his main melee attack kinda sucks. Double will leap to the middle of the field then towards you, so you have plenty of time to dodge it. It still hurts a lot if it does hit you, but you shouldn't worry about it too much. The funniest part about this attack is him constantly shouting Evil Slash every time he uses it. Double also has a disc he throws around and will throw 2 once his health is low enough. And he also likes to put out 2 giant waves at half health too. Does as much damage as his evil slash, so, be careful. He does have another attack if he uses weakness, but we didn't because plasma shots go burr. Alright, bye Double. Eat shit. But when we beat him, X asks why Double did this. The answer? He's evil and shit. He then proceeds to shit talk X for being a good boy and explodes. Good riddance, you shit.
I sentence you to 1 explosion.
Alright, time for a real final stage. And after the start of the stage pays homage to X3, we get to choose a path forward. That's right, we have branching paths. Look out, world, X is gonna go on his own path now. But in this case, he went on the upper path, which has a lot of spikes and far too many spikes. You're gonna need that armor from Symphony in the Night that breaks spikes. Also, there's parts where lasers fire up at us into the ship. I'm not really sure of the logistics on that one. But no time, we've already made it to General. And he is really big. Like, oh my god. X tries to talk him down, saying there must be an alternative to the war. Some way they could make a nation for Reploids without this pointless fighting. But, sadly, General says there's no way to change his mind, even bringing up that they could become Mavericks for no reason. Which, might want to blame Colonel for that one, actually. But we must fight!
It was our destiny to fight.
General is fucking massive, which is why his arena is twice the size of the others. Though he doesn't seem this big in the opening, maybe he's like Gamagori in Kill la Kill and his official size is bigger than you. But as for the fight, General can be a bit tedious, mainly because aside from the Twin Slasher, and I guess Charged Soul Body if you want to use it for some reason, General doesn't take damage from anything except the X-Buster. What we have to do is hit General in the head to damage him, much like Kaiser Sigma. But unlike that fight, your shots actually have a chance of hitting him instead of being sucked into the void or hell, wherever the fuck they went next to you whenever you fought that horrible, stupid, vile piece of shit. What I'm trying to say is that this fight is fun despite the weak point. We gotta put our platforming skills to good use and jump up General's arms when he shoots them at us. They're actually platforms. Just be careful of the orb shots. I'm telling you right now, this isn't too bad on X. Like I said, just tedious. But on Zero, oh my god, we will get to that.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to doing this again as Zero. I'm scared.
But we beat General, and then suddenly the final weapon prepares to fire. It's not General's doing, so who could it be? Ah, come on, you knew it was him. But of course, we must boss rush once more. Not much to say aside from me using everyone's weaknesses to stun lock them into oblivion. I think the best ways to showcase this is what happens to Cyber Peacock when you use his weakness against him.
Alright. You saw how interactive his fight was, right guys? You saw that. Well, watch this. Where is he? Alright, there he goes. Bye-bye. He doesn't get to do a goddamn thing if you hit him with Soul Body. It's really funny.
Yeah, this is why I avoided using weaknesses the first time. A lot of the things I complimented the bosses on just go away because pretty much all of them in this game suffer from Spark Mandrill Syndrome. But don't worry, something much more sinister is ahead of us. Sigma! That motherfucker is back again! It was him that made the Repliforce and the Maverick Hunters fight, and now he'll use the final weapon to destroy Earth! Don't you live there, man? Are you okay, Sigma? You wanna talk? Yeah, that looks about right. Time to fight Sigma, and he's so special, he's got 3 phases this time. First can throw you for a loop if you don't know what to do, which is just use Rising Fire as you gotta burn away his cloak. If you get him immediately, he won't be able to attack, at least until the 3rd time he appears. Then he'll swipe at you with his scythe, so be sure to dodge that one by jumping through the handle. I know it looks like you can dash under it, but you can't, I tried. But once we've burned away Sigma's sick-ass cloak, it's time for Phase 2. Here, Sigma loves to throw his scythe around, first in a spiral around himself, then towards you. And depending on if it lands in the wall or the floor, Sigma follows up with a different attack. Make him throw it into the wall because that makes him shoot lasers out of his eyes, which is way easier to dodge than the other attack, which is just these fucking boomerangs, and the tracking is ridiculous, and I hate it. But we're able to scrape out a win against Phase 2, and now on to Phase 3, which is Earth Sigma and Gunner Sigma. That's right, he's such a special boy, he gets 2 bodies in this game. He was kind enough to give us a medium health pack before we fought him, so that's nice. But oh lordy, this phase. There's a lot going on during this phase, and all of it hurts. So much so that I died right after I used one of my sub-tanks. Never a good feeling. See, aside from the sheer overwhelming nature of all the different attacks Sigma has during this phase, you also have to defeat both of the Sigmas, not just one. And much like General, you have to hit them in their weak points, which is easy for Gunner Sigma, it's just this giant dinner plate of a face. But for Earth Sigma, you have to hit him in the mouth when it's open, which is far more of a difficult task, since he loved to spam this move here where he spits out projectiles everywhere. The little face getting in the way of him did not help this part either. But after a long, rough fight where I died a total of 2 times, all I had to do was say the magic phrase.
Fuck it, we ball. Explode. There we go. Jesus. God, his one hand's just going nuts when he's doing this. Why he do that? Get the fuck down here, Sigma. I'm gonna kick your ass. Bitch.
How many times do I have to tell you, Sigma? It's as simple as that. Defeating Sigma gives us the achievement, it's definitely over. But Sigma's still fully intent on letting the world get blown up, and there's not a lot X can do about it. He's just a little guy. But that's what the big guy's for. General's here to sacrifice himself to save the day. You know what? I do kind of feel bad for him having to go out like this. General did care for everyone. But X escapes, his final weapon explodes. On the way back, X reflects on the war he participated in.
Okay. Boy's having PTSD.
Zero then calls to check in on X, with X asking Zero if he were to become a Maverick, he should be the one to stop him. Zero doesn't take him seriously at first, but when S begs him to listen, Zero doesn't respond for a moment before saying it's silly that something like that would happen. He then hangs up and X heads home. I know I said at the start that the story was pretty rough, but having X reflect on what would happen if he went Maverick after the war against the Reproforce is quite interesting. X is a good boy, but he still has his own doubts about that, and while he will continue to fight for peace, what if that fight takes him down a path where he's labeled as a Maverick, just like Reproforce was? It's interesting to think about, but in a way, it's also foreshadowing for a future series where it does kind of happen. But X blasts off home, and we get the Promise Me Zero achievement for beating the game as X, the Tragic Destiny achievement for beating X4, and the True Hero achievement for beating X4 without the ultimate armor, which is locked behind a cheat code, but okay, sure. But we're not done yet. We still have another character to play as. Yeah, did you think I forgot about our fucking boy? He even has his own story, which has way more cutscenes than X's does, because Zero was truly Capcom's special boy for this series. Zero's intro has him waking up and receiving orders from Dr. Wily, but why? Well, we can't discuss that because Zero is now experiencing the worst headache a Reploid can have.
Me too, bro.
Zero then sees rapid flashes of images, and again, it's a good thing this is robots and oil, or else it'd be really fucked up. Apparently Zero's been having this dream a lot, but he's got no time to dwell on it. There's an emergency.
It's a big rib for B, raid T for teen. It's just oil, it's fine. It's just oil, it's okay.
Now, I'm not going to do a play-by-play for the entirety of this playthrough of Zero. That'd be a bit much, since it's the same levels and bosses, with one exception. But I'm happy to say that Zero doesn't use his Buster like in X3. Instead, he uses his Z-Saber. So it's time for a completely different approach to the gameplay, since we gotta get in there! The Z-Saber feels great. It's fast, deals big damage, and we can do the magical technique of Saber Dash Canceling, or SDC for short. The way I did it is by mashing the direction you want to attack in while mashing attack, since double tapping a direction also has you dash that way. This results in Zero doing this. Isn't it beautiful? We go forward, Magma Dragoon blows up the Sky Lagoon, but this time Zero finds Iris in the wreckage. She's part of the Repliforce, but her being injured does have Zero doubt if Repliforce were the ones to do this. But we don't have time for questions either, Zero. You gotta slay this dragon. Come on!
There we go. It really just takes a while, that's all. It's not that big a deal.
And after that, Colonel shows up again, and he's here to save Iris. But only in this playthrough. I don't know what happened to her during X's route.
Pearl, your sister is over there. She's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't start war. Can you not accidentally a war, please?
But Colonel does what he always does. Causing problems, always. And then runs off.
Most stubborn man in the entire series, I swear.
But when we get back to HQ, Iris is here as our navigator. Just like she was in Extreme 2 4 years later. She begs Zero not to fight the Repliforce, but he must! So we'll have to run through the stages as Zero. What's cool about Zero is that when he beats a boss, he gets a technique instead of a weapon. All of these add to his moveset, making Zero feel even better, as the techniques act as movement options on top of attacks. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna fuck up all the Japanese words. Are you ready? Alright, let's go. We got Kyuenzan to double jump and spin in the air. Hyoren Zutsan to slam into enemies from the sky with ice. Shippuga for a quick dash attack, Hainkyaku for air dashing, Tenkuha for destroying enemy attacks, which is on all the time and turns the Z-Saber purple. Raigen Geki, which deals a shit ton of damage. Ryujin Jaka, Ryujin, which launches him upwards. And finally, Uraku Hoha, which fires projectiles in a fan arc around Zero. All these techniques come together and make playing Zero a blast, and far more mobile than X is. You really have to give the team credit for being able to make two movesets for two completely different playstyles feel this good. Especially since Zero gets no armor upgrades like X does. Let's hope they can keep that up for 4 more games. Anyways, shitty segue time. Halfway through the stages, Colonel challenges Zero to a duel, just like he did X. But this time, it's a cutscene, and it's got truly amazing voice acting.
Colonel! What? I'm disappointed in you, Colonel! Ah! What do you think you're doing? It's not too late. Stop the coup now! Never. If that's your decision, prepare yourself!
But Iris steps in before the fight escalates, begging Colonel to let Zero go since he saved her. And Colonel reluctantly does.
Very well then. I'll spare your life for now. But next time, there'll be no mercy.
Okay. Iris then also begs Zero to stop fighting against Repliforce, to which Zero responds with,
Someone must stop Repliforce!
amazing.
Need to stop Repliforce!
And at the end of the game, once the Repliforce is at the spaceport, we do what we usually do and stock up, then enter the spaceport. And it's around here we get the achievement The Way of the Saber for using all of Zero's techniques within a single playthrough. But it's time to fight Colonel, for real this time. Zero tries to stop Colonel by saying Iris would be sad if he was gone. Colonel then responds with a "Who asked?" and the fight begins. And you know what? I fucking shredded him. Zero does a lot of damage, and poor Colonel is not ready for it.
Just jump over that. There's no point in actually trying to dodge it fluidly, because it's not like I can really get in a whole lot of slashes otherwise. Yeah, that's not really that helpful. I'm never ready for him to use that move, because he just very rarely uses it ever. Die.
But with his dying breath, Colonel asks Zero to tell Iris his brother died happily. Colonel, you could just not... Never mind. Getting back to HQ, Iris is nowhere to be found. She's joined the Repliforce on the final weapon. Oh, that's not good. I hope she doesn't do anything crazy.
I'm sure it's fine that Iris isn't here, guys. Nothing bad's gonna happen, right?
Dang it. So Iris, stricken with grief over the loss of her brother and with nothing to lose, decides to fight with the Repliforce. You know what? You did it, X4. This is an extremely tragic moment. And it helps because Iris was in the story way more than Double was. What's even more tragic is that the thing Iris fuses with to create this big ride armor she's in is actually Colonel's memory chip, which... goddamn, son. The fight itself is relatively straightforward, and what you have to do doesn't mean it's easy.
Fuck. I tried to be sneaky with it, but should have just slid on the wall.
We have to hit Iris's body enough that the core appears. Hitting that actually lets us damage her. The thing you need to keep in mind is that each time you hit the armor, she spews out a bunch of mines. This can get overwhelming very quickly, so focus on the core once it's out. Though when it is out, Iris can shoot a laser that the core will follow up with, and it does a lot of damage. You gotta position yourself right so that way you don't get slammed by both of them at the same time. Overall, this is a simple fight, but that's all it needs to be since it's more about the tragedy of what's happening rather than the challenge.
Come on, Zero, you gotta attack.
Oof. But we do beat Iris, and, well, I don't really like to say scenes are ruined by dubbing very often, but... oh boy.
Iris! Iris!
Zero,
Hang in there, Iris.
please, stay away from Repliforce. Let's live together. In a world where only Reploids exist.
Iris, there's no world just for Reploid. It's only a fantasy.
Yes, I know, but I wanted to believe it. I wanted to live in a world where only Reploids exist, with you.
Iris! 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 Ah! No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
I love video games.
Now this is peak voice acting. In all seriousness, this scene is genuinely tragic and sad when you're not listening to the original English dub. As Past Me put it,
That is biblical in how fucking bad that is.
but we don't have time for that. It's time to fight Dollar General again, and I fucking suck at this fight as Zero. You still have to hit his weakness as Zero, and it is far more difficult when you don't have ranged weapons. And that contact damage is no joke, my god. I found that using Kyuenzan was the best bet for hitting him, but I could not stick the landing to save my life. Eventually I did get him, but it was rough.
Oh man, I can't believe I got away with that. And I did like 2 pixels of health. God damn it. Really wish he would stop putting his fists that high up. I can't get up there, man. General, can you please? I can't fucking deal with this, man. This fight needs to end already. If he hits me again, I die, so... I've seen people kill General in like 1 loop of this, but I can't do it. There we go.
Time to go through the boss rush once more. Dunzo. Now it's time to face Sigma again, but this time he reveals that Zero was a Maverick in the past. You even see a cutscene of Sigma fighting Zero in the past when he was a Maverick. I love that Sigma still sounds evil as fuck in the past instead of sounding somewhat nice.
I'll take care of this personally.
By yourself, Commander?
I don't want any more of my people being sacrificed.
And Zero was real sadistic when he was a Maverick. Luckily for past Sigma, Zero gets the Wumbo headache, allowing Sigma to punch Zero in the face. Sigma walked away from that encounter, but he was slaughtered against Zero.
Commander, are you okay?
No!
Silence!
Commander, are you okay? Do you have eyes?
But enough focusing on the past, we need to fight in the present. Sigma's first phase goes the same way as it did for X, but the second phase? Oh man, he didn't even hit me once.
I can just hang out here though. So now that I know that. Now that I know how his scythe attack works, this is a lot easier to do. This is so much easier to do now that I know how this works. Because every other time I would do this, he would always hit it into the floor and I would have to dodge little shoulder things on him and I just couldn't do it. I could just do this. There we go.
The past is repeating itself, Sigma. Look out! Third phase? Not so well for me anymore. But I can say that all the practice against Sigma as X really helped us out as Zero. Earth Sigma is still a bastard, though.
Oh my god, Snow. I hate this attack so much. Stop it. I'm waiting for him to shoot up so you can see his arm go crazy, but it looks like that's not going to happen because I'm just going to kill that for him. Man, it's going so much smoother than when we were playing as X. Jesus. Ow.
But we eventually get him just as the Founding Fathers intended.
Fuck it, it doesn't matter. Just beat the shit out of him. You know what? It's just, we got this. There we go, we did it. He's dead.
Sadly, just like with X, General has to sacrifice himself to stop the final weapon. And as Zero flies away, he laments about not being able to save anyone from Repliforce, saying that maybe all Reploids are Mavericks after all. Get this boy some therapy, please. But for our efforts, we get the Mavericks After All achievement for beating the game as Zero, and finally, half the saga for completing X1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's the end of X4, a fantastic game which still has some flaws, but those are mostly nitpicks. Overall, it's still well worth it to play this now. I personally wish this game had some more interesting achievements to do like X1 and 2 did, but hey, it's still a great time. X4 has well earned its reputation as one of the best in the franchise. I even started playing it again while I was writing about it, but with the first Legacy Collection done, it's time to head over to the second. And the X games there, well, there's a reason I say the X series has some of the largest peaks and valleys in the entire franchise, but that's all from me for now. Everyone, take care. I'm rooting for you.